Hello, everybody. This is Pastor Willie, and this is the encouraging word for today. I'm going to tell you the key to living a life for Jesus. And it's one word, fear, fear, fear. Now, fear, when we hear it, has a bad connotation, a bad sound to it. After all, God told many leaders in the Old Testament, from Joshua on down, do not fear, be strong and courageous. Do not fear. He told the kings of Israel, do not be afraid of them. Do not be afraid. And Jesus, of course, told his disciples many times, do not be afraid. Why are you afraid? Do not fear. Fear is a weapon of Satan. So you say, how can that be the key to living a life for Jesus? Bear with me and I will explain what I mean. Fear paralyzes us. It keeps us from taking steps, and it's a weapon that Satan uses. Sometimes it's directly to prevent us from taking a step, but more often, particularly in my own experience, I haven't faced armies that are ready to kill me or people that are standing in front of me with a sword ready to chop off my head. I haven't dealt with that in my life. But fear of people, I admit at times has prevented me from doing things that I knew God wanted me to do or say. Fear of what people will think. Fear of what people will say. So Jesus recognizes Satan's use of fear. He uses fear against us. And what Jesus does is he turns the idea of fear totally around to our benefit, so that the idea of fear is actually the key to living the Christian life. Now, Jesus is getting ready to send out his disciples on a mission, the 12 disciples on a mission. And it's their first mission. He's giving them instructions on what to do. So in Matthew chapter 10, verse 28, this is what Jesus says. Do not be afraid of those who kill the body, but cannot kill the soul. Rather, be afraid of the one who can destroy both soul and body in hell. Isn't that amazing? Fear depends on what you're afraid of. So he says, do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. This is Satan's use of fear to stop you from doing what God wants you to do. And it's a fear of people. So when he says, do not be afraid of those who kill the body, but cannot kill the soul, that's people. People could kill me, but they can't kill my soul. Their power is limited. Satan's power is limited. He cannot affect my soul. So he says, don't fear those who kill the body. Don't fear people. Sometimes it will be literally killing the body. Other times it will be like the situation I have faced, embarrassment or wanting to fit in, wanting to please people. He says, don't be afraid of those who kill the body. Don't be afraid of people. They can't kill your soul. The worst they could do is kill you. And guess what? When they kill you, you are in glory with Jesus for eternity. They can't take your salvation. They can't kill the soul. And then he turns it around and says, rather be afraid of the one who can destroy both soul and body in hell. The one who can do that is God himself. So we're to fear God, not be afraid of him, though he says be afraid, but have such an awe, such a respect for him that we're afraid to disappoint him. We're afraid to disobey him because he can not only kill our body, which he can, but he can destroy our soul in hell. So if I have people over here, the worst that a person can do to me is kill my body. And God over here, what he can do to me is kill my body and destroy my soul in hell. And if I balance those out, am I going to obey people? I'm going to try to fit in with people, or am I going to obey Jesus Christ and stand for him, even if people make fun of me, even if people don't let me fit in, even if, God forbid, people kill me? Don't be afraid of that. Be afraid rather of what God thinks of your life. Be afraid of of not doing what God asks you to do. What a statement. Don't be afraid of those who can kill the body, but be afraid of the one who can kill the body and soul in hell. You can live by, that's one verse that you can take and you can apply it to your life. And it will guide you through your Christian life. Why am I acting this way? Is it fear of man or is it fear of God? You can analyze everything. Now, Peter was one of the people who heard Jesus say that right from his lips. Okay? But we all know Peter's experience. When Jesus was arrested, Peter followed at a distance. And when the young woman said, "You were with him also," and then she repeated it, then someone else said it, he denied it 3 times, called down curses, and said, "I never knew the man." The fear of man was greater than his fear of God at that point, and he denied Jesus. But Jesus restored him. And if we know the story of Peter, we know that from that point on in his life, he was not afraid of people. He was always afraid of what God would think of his life. And tradition tells us that one day his life was taken from him by people. But they had no real power over him. He was not afraid of them. And he was afraid of the one who called him. It's a lesson he had to learn, and he learned it through failure, as we learn many of our lessons. There's a proverb, Proverbs 29:25, which explains this in different words. It says, "Fear of man will prove to be a snare, but whoever trusts in the Lord is kept safe." Kept safe. It may have temporary implications on your life here. You may not get that job, but your eternal soul is safe. So, my friends, that's a key to living right for God right now. Don't fear man, fear God. God bless you, and I will see you again on Monday.